Yo, what's going on, you guys? So today I'm going to teach you guys who can only throw 300 feet, maybe 350, how you can finally throw 400 feet and farther.
Even out here.
So let's get right into it. So step number one is to learn the roller. Yep, you heard me. It's not an air shot, it's the roller. Basically, there's two ways to throw a roller: sidearm, backhand. And to get the most distance out of the roller, you're going to have to throw an air shot. So let's say it's basically you throw something understable, or you throw like a flat or little bit of anhyzer, sidearm or backhand, and then eventually it's going to hit the ground and then start rolling. That's where you're going to get some speed on it. Now, why am I asking you to learn the roller? Because in 2001, which is still not beat, the longest roller was over 3,700 feet. Like, I can't even process how far that is. Now, of course, there was wind assistance, right? Any distance record has wind assistance, right? There's no distance record online that has no wind assistance. But with that being said, under the right conditions, you could crush a roller. Maybe you're not going to get 3,700 feet, but you could certainly crush a roller and, you know, even get 550 out of it. When I was a kid, I would pretty much only throw rollers because I couldn't throw that far, right? So like the way I would get to the basket is I would throw a sidearm roller, and then eventually I learned how to throw it even better and better, and then eventually I was, throwing it 300 feet. That was pretty much like the first time I was able to throw 300 feet, just throwing rollers. I would throw a roller like on every shot, no matter if it was in the woods or whatever. So not only does learning the roller allow you to get more distance, but it's gonna let you throw low ceiling shots and tricky shots as well. Next tip, how to throw the longest air shot you possibly can under normal conditions. You guessed it, it's the 360 backhand. Not 360 sidearm, 360 backhand. Don't try a 360 sidearm. 360 backhand, why does it let you throw the farthest? Because it lets you put the most speed you can possibly put on a disc, right? It lets you use your whole body to do whatever you need to do to let this disc go as fast as it possibly can. Now, the trick to throwing a 360 backhand is let it go on a little bit of hyzer, right? You don't really want to be coming out like this, because it's going to become a roller, or it's just going to go way right and hit the ground right away and maybe not even roll correctly. The reason you want it on a hyzer is because really you're trying to get a hyzer flip out of this thing. A hyzer flip is the max possible distance a disc can go in the air, right? So hyzer flip meaning it'll start like this, you let it go, and then it's going to flip up, and then it's going to go anhyzer, right? It's starting to go anhyzer, and then eventually it's going to fight back at the end. When you're throwing a 360 backhand, it's going to take some time to learn, okay? Easily the most difficult throw in disc golf, other than maybe like throwing out of some crazy rough, right? 360 backhand is something you definitely need to practice in a field before you try it on a course. I myself have not mastered a 360 backhand. I recommend, if you want to watch a 360 backhand, just search up Simon Lizotte 360, or search up David Wiggins 360, because David Wiggins has the current world record, but also Simon Lizotte is no slouch, as he was a previous distance world record. Step number 3, guys, you need to be throwing an understable disc for your maximum distance shot. The reason for that is because, like I said in the last tip, you need to create a hyzer flip, whether it's sidearm or backhand, right? So hyzer flip is going to get you the most possible distance. Now, if you can't throw a hyzer flip, obviously you're going to go for the big flex shot, right? But until you're better at the game and you're already throwing like 450, you're not really going to get that much distance out of the big flex shot, because the big flex shot is actually really good in, certain wind conditions, right? If it's a right to left wind, I can throw a sidearm flex shot, big one, and it'll go on the wind and it'll just carry that super quickly and give me some extra distance, right? Anyone learning to throw far, your friend is the hyzer flip, whether it's a 360 or just normal, and it can be sidearm too. So one disc I actually recommend trying is the Innova Mamba. The reason for that is because it's an 11 speed, 6 glide, and a -5 turn. The -5 turn is the biggest factor because that thing is going to flip super hard, right? It's going to be the freest distance ever if you learn how to control the disc a little bit. Now, I definitely recommend go trying that disc. But one other thing I was going to say is you can pretty much use any disc as long as it's a -1 turn and the glide is at least 5. This is like for max distance, right? The fade, that's like up to you, and the speed, that's up to you as well. But I do recommend a higher speed once you start getting better at throwing longer distances.
Ooh, yeah. Wow.
Step number 4, before you go and buy that Mamba, like I just said, make sure that you learn all the discs in your bag, right? Maybe there's a disc in your bag that you can actually throw really far. Now, obviously, if you know the flight numbers and stuff, and you don't have any understable discs at all, and they're all stable or something, yeah, go out and buy a couple discs. But if you're newer to the game and you're still kind of learning how to throw far and you're watching this video, spend some time with these discs first, and then go and buy discs, whatever you want to do. And you can go buy discs right now. I can't control you, but I will say that you can get a lot more distance than you think out of the stuff you probably already have. In 1990, the distance record was 563 feet. And now you're thinking to yourself, okay, it's 1990, like that's not that great, right? But in 1990, the fastest speed disc that a Nova had out was a 5-speed Scorpion, or maybe 6-speed Lynx. I don't know how fast the Lynx is. I couldn't find any information on that. But anyways, 5 to maximum 6 speed.
Longest toss wins. Let's see who it is.
Who's got a bullhorn? Mikey. That's the winner with a throw of 171.68 meters is Randy Lamb.
You can do a lot more than you think you can with what you already have, even if it's just like mid-ranges, even if it's just like a buzz. I'm sure if you practice long enough and hard enough, you could throw that buzz 500 feet. Sure, it would take a lot of work and a lot of time, but you could eventually get there. And that leads into the final tip, which is go out and practice, you guys. You're never going to be able to throw 500, 600, however far you want to throw, sitting at home on your computer watching this video, right? This video is just to tell you to get out there and practice, pretty much. I myself, I work out 5 days a week, and I try to get stronger. That's just how I like to train, and as long as I'm still getting PRs, personal records, then I should technically be able to throw farther every week, right? So once I figure out how to use that newly gained strength into my throw, I'll be able to throw farther. So I want you guys to kind of do the same, right? There's no limit to how far you can throw. It's just, there's just a limit in your mind, and you got to tell yourself that you can beat that. Because these discs aren't that heavy. 175 grams is a third of a pound. About a third of a pound, right, guys? You just need to train your body to throw this disc as best as it can. Eventually, you might get to that point, but it's going to take a long time, guys. So make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe. Comment down below, what's your farthest throw? And do you think these tips are helpful? Anyways, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one. Peace.